You're sitting across from her at dinner, or maybe you're just talking after a meeting and something shifts. She's not saying anything obvious. She's not making a move. In fact, if someone asked her directly, she'd probably deny it completely. But you feel it. There's something in the way she looks at you for just a second too long. The way her voice changes when she says your name. The way her body seems to relax and tense at the same time when you're close. And if you've lived long enough, if you've paid attention to women over the years, you recognize it. She's thinking about you in ways she's not ready to say out loud. She might even be a little shy about it, which makes it easier to miss. But the signs are there. Subtle, quiet, and unmistakable once you know what you're looking for. Today we're talking about 5 signals that tell you she's fantasizing about you, even when she acts like she's not. These aren't loud or obvious. They're the kind of things only a man with experience notices. So before we go further, subscribe to Mature Instincts, where we talk about the hidden signals most people miss. Let's start with something that happens more often than you'd think. She finds excuses to be physically close to you, but she does it in ways that seem accidental or casual. This is important because younger guys often miss this entirely. They're waiting for something big and obvious. But a woman who's attracted to you, especially one who's a little shy or reserved about it, won't announce it. She'll create opportunities. Maybe she sits next to you when there are other open seats. Maybe she leans in a little closer than necessary when you're talking. Maybe she touches your arm briefly when she laughs, or brushes past you in a way that feels just slightly intentional. What makes this a sign of deeper interest, the kind that goes beyond just liking your company, is the pattern. It's not once, it's repeated, and it's paired with something else, a kind of energy. When she gets close, her breathing might change slightly. Her voice might get quieter. She might pause a little longer before she moves away. That's not just friendliness. That's a woman who's enjoying the physical proximity more than she's letting on. She wants to be near you because being near you feels good to her body, not just her mind. And the fact that she's creating these moments instead of waiting for them tells you she's thinking about you when you're not around. She's planning it, even if she doesn't consciously realize it. Now, here's another one that's easy to overlook if you're not paying attention. She asks you personal questions that go deeper than small talk, and then she really listens. Not just polite listening, real listening, the kind where she remembers details you mentioned weeks ago and brings them up later. Women do this when they're genuinely interested, but when she's fantasizing about you, the questions take on a different quality. She wants to know what you think about relationships, what you value, what you find attractive, what your life is like outside of where she sees you. She's gathering information, but not in a clinical way. She's trying to build a picture of you in her mind that's more complete, more intimate. And when you answer, watch her body language. Does she lean in? Does she maintain eye contact longer than usual? Does she smile in a way that feels private, like she's pleased with what she's learning? This is a woman who's imagining scenarios with you. She's not just curious. She's creating a version of you in her thoughts that she returns to when she's alone. And the reason this matters is because it shows intention. She's investing mental and emotional energy into knowing you better. That's not something people do casually. That's something people do when they're attracted and they're trying to figure out if you're someone worth pursuing, even if they're too shy to make the first move. Here's a third sign, and this one is particularly telling. She gets noticeably flustered or self-conscious around you in small, specific ways. Maybe she fixes her hair more often when you're nearby. Maybe she adjusts her posture. Maybe she laughs a little too quickly at something you say, or stumbles over her words when she's usually articulate. This might seem like nervousness, and it is, but it's a specific kind of nervousness. It's the nervousness of someone who cares what you think of her, someone who's aware of herself through your eyes. And when a woman is fantasizing about you, that self-awareness intensifies. She's not just thinking about you in abstract terms, she's thinking about how you see her, what you notice, whether you find her attractive, and that creates a heightened state of awareness that shows up in her behavior. She might touch her neck more often, which is a subconscious gesture tied to vulnerability and attraction. She might mirror your movements without realizing it. She might seem distracted when you're around, like part of her attention is somewhere else, probably on managing her own reactions to you. The key here is contrast. If she's normally confident and composed, and then becomes a little less so around you, that's significant. It means you affect her in a way that other people don't. And that effect, that disruption of her usual composure, is often tied to thoughts and feelings she's not ready to express yet. Now let's talk about something that happens in conversation. She teases you in ways that feel playful and slightly flirtatious, even if she's generally reserved. This is different from regular teasing or joking around. There's an edge to it, a kind of testing. She might make a comment about something you said, something that pokes at you just a little, but it's delivered with a smile or a look that softens it. She might challenge you on something minor, not in a combative way, but in a way that invites you to engage with her. What's happening here is that she's creating a dynamic. She's establishing a back and forth that feels more intimate than regular conversation. And when a woman does this, especially one who's otherwise shy or careful, it's often because she's imagining what it would be like to have that kind of playful tension with you in other contexts. She's testing boundaries in a safe way, seeing how you respond, seeing if you pick up on the subtext. And if you respond well, if you match her energy without getting defensive or awkward, she gets a little thrill from it. That exchange becomes something she replays in her mind later. It becomes part of the fantasy. The fact that she initiates this kind of interaction, that she's willing to risk being a little bold with you, even when she's not bold with others, tells you she's thinking about you as more than just a friend or acquaintance. She's thinking about you in ways that involve chemistry and connection and possibility. Here's the fifth sign, and it's one that requires you to be observant over time. She finds reasons to stay in contact with you, even when there's no practical reason to. Maybe she texts you about something small. Maybe she sends you an article or a meme that reminded her of you. Maybe she reaches out to ask your opinion on something she could easily figure out herself. What makes this significant is the frequency and the timing. If she's thinking about you regularly, if you're occupying space in her mind, she's going to look for ways to interact with you. And the excuses she uses don't really matter. What matters is the pattern. Women who are fantasizing about someone will often create these small touch points because it gives them a reason to think about you openly, to engage with you, to see how you respond. It's a way of keeping the connection alive between the times you see each other in person. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that these interactions often happen when she's alone, when she has time to think, when she's in a reflective or relaxed state. That's not a coincidence. That's when the thoughts about you are strongest. And reaching out is a way of acting on those thoughts in a safe, low-risk way. If she's consistent with this, if she seems to enjoy these small exchanges and finds ways to extend them, that's a woman who's keeping you close in her mind, even when you're not physically present. So let's pull this together. A woman who's fantasizing about you but acting shy isn't going to make it obvious. She's not going to walk up and tell you what she's thinking, but she will show you if you know what to look for. She creates opportunities to be near you. She asks questions that go deeper and listens with real attention. She becomes more self-conscious around you in small, revealing ways. She teases you with a kind of playful tension that feels different from how she is with others. And she stays in contact, finding reasons to keep you present in her life, even when there's no practical need. These signs aren't loud, they're quiet, and that's exactly why a mature man has the advantage here. You've seen enough to recognize the difference between politeness and interest, between friendliness and attraction. You don't need her to spell it out because you've learned to read the language underneath the words. And that awareness, that ability to notice what others miss, that's what makes all the difference. The thing to remember is this: when a woman is thinking about you in ways she's not ready to admit, she's often waiting to see if you notice. She's looking for signs that you're aware of her, that you're interested, that you're the kind of man who can pick up on the subtle signals. And the beauty of being older, of having experience, is that you don't have to rush. You don't have to force anything. You can simply be present. You can respond with calm confidence. You can let her know in quiet ways that you see her. And that patience, that ability to let things unfold naturally, is what makes you attractive. It's what sets you apart from younger men who are still figuring out the basics. You understand that attraction is often built in these small moments, in the things that aren't said, in the looks and the pauses and the energy that exists between two people. And when you recognize those moments for what they are, you're already ahead. So here's my question for you. Have you noticed any of these signs from a woman in your life? Maybe something you didn't fully understand at the time, but looking back now, you realize what it meant? Drop a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear your experiences. And if you found this helpful, if it gave you a new way of seeing things, do me a favor. Like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Mature Instincts for more insights into the hidden signals most people miss. Because the more you understand about what's really going on beneath the surface, the better you get at navigating these situations with confidence and clarity. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.